What's up, folks? This is Panama Steve with Pacific Vibes. I got my boy Nigel here tonight. Welcome on in.
Thank you for having me.
A pleasure having you, brother. Yeah, man. We have a bunch of mutual friends and family, and it's just funny how the circle gets smaller and smaller over the years, right?
Right.
But I know all about you. But go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us all about you, bro.
Yeah, I'm Nigel, poet, philosopher, creative force for good, CTO for artists at Nothing But Hits, Bay Area native. Getting really deep into this AI wave that's coming. But I guess that's like a high level of what I've been working on.
It sounds deep. I've been seeing some of your work.
Yeah. It's just really bizarre. I feel like it's the big elephant in the room for artists of our era. That's like our unique inheritance is what does it mean to be an artist in the age of AI? Like
Right.
we all got to figure out how the creative world has to adapt to this new tool, you know?
Absolutely. I've seen everybody doing it, and you're on top of it right now, huh?
Trying to be. The tools are moving so fast. It's like even sticking to one tool, you have to like relearn it because the models get updated. The tools get more expansive, more functionality. It's it's a lot. It's bizarre.
That's tight, bro. You got to be ahead of the curve, you know?
You got to
adjust to times, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, tell us a little bit about your background, work, and, personal.
Yeah, so born and raised Bay Area. Families from the Bay Area. I feel like what was cool was like having a little United Nations friends group growing up. You know, you got Pavel from Poland and Adarsh from India and Soren from Sweden, and like you just come up kind of mixed with so many different cultures out here. And then I found poetry when I was in third grade. I was an angry kid. My teacher sat me down and was like, don't worry about grammar. Don't worry about, saying bad words. He was like, just write exactly how you feel. And been writing poetry pretty much ever since. And then I heard The World Is Yours on Tony Hawk Underground by Nas. And I just like knew then like, oh, I'm gonna be rapping.
That's tight.
And I was like in 8th grade. So it's been on ever since pretty much.
No, I dig your style and your flow and positivity. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, for me, I'm not going to be the most lyrically gifted. I'm not trying to be the most catchy. I like to say powerful things as powerfully as I can. I want people to feel powerful rapping the shit, where like if you learn the lyrics, you're going to feel powerful bussing.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Like, what rappers inspired you to be like in this way? Like you obviously come with all this power, right? I mean, that's not just your average. You have to have some serious playlists.
I mean, early, I feel like you're just trying to get your bearings. Like I listened to a lot of Nas, a lot of Mos Def, the Black on Both Sides album. I was living with that. The Illmatic album. I was living with that. Probably Black Thought. Black Thought's probably like top three for me. Elzai from Slum Village is like in that top 5. The fifth I feel like is a rotation or something. Like anybody could fit in that 5th slot, but the Huss from Mob Figures.
Nice, yeah.
That one's kind of like the out of left field, but man, I don't know. His energy just did it for me back in the day. So that's probably like my pantheon. That's like where my style I feel like is born from.
That's what's up, man. And like when did you technically like get started in music?
So yeah, I started rapping in 8th grade, but I didn't tell nobody. I was very secretive about it. I feel like all artists, when you kind of halfway in, I call them a closet creative, where like you know deep down that you're a creative, but you're just not ready to own it yet.
Right.
And I was in that space for like all of high school. I even like my closest friends would know that I rap, but they may only heard like a verse or two or something. I had notebooks filled. And I think when Royce moved and lived with me when I was like, shout out the Mighty Nebulous. And
Royce and Taj, his cousins,
yeah,
are very talented. Now,
Yeah.
And their parents as well. Or, I'm sorry, their father, right?
Yeah, no, the music runs in our family for real. Like, and appreciation for the word. We have a lot of English teachers and kind of literary people in the family. Yeah, so the music side for sure. Like, uncles was rapping. Uh, but yeah, I forgot where I was. What was I saying?
I almost got lost on what you were talking about. What?
Oh, when Royce moved out.
Right. Yeah. When it
Yeah.
all started, right?
So I was maybe like 18.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had just graduated high school. He moved out. He had graduated a year before. And both of us, we've been rapping together for dumb long up until that point. But I think I went to community college and they had a studio there, I think was what it was. And this was when like maybe Audacity first came out. If you know Audacity, you know what it is to really hate Audacity.
What year is this you talking about?
It's like 2008. Yeah, 2008. And we just started using the studio at the school and literally like, you know, rapping in closets with the stocking for the pop filter type shit, like really just getting after it, you know. And in 2 years from 2018 to 2010, we must have made like 40, 50 songs, which is not a lot by today's standards, but we're not punching that shit in. We're writing every word,
Right.
you know? And
You guys got all that experience though. That's what's up.
yeah, so we just went deep. We were really hyperbolic time chamber with it. Like we was just really tucked in the room, just writing every day. Wake up, smoke, put a beat on, you know? So I think that's probably when I really started. But even then, very secretive with it. It took us forever to release any of our mixtape shit. But yeah, never stopped. Never stopped. I think what's most interesting now, as I, you know, because I've been with the craft for so long, even though I haven't been putting out music very long, it's like learning how to keep rapping even as my identity starts to evolve.
Right.
You know, because I'm not rapping about the shit I was rapping about when I was
Of course you're not.
15 or
Right.
18 and so on and so on. And so actually the EP that I dropped last year, that was like almost a chronology of my mentality of like starting what I used to think about the world and then like how did I travel to the perspective that I have today. And so, yeah, that's the journey of so far, I guess, musically.
Man, you're doing a great job, man. I like all the, you know, your lyrics and the visuals that you're putting together with it, you know, the combination. And it looks like you're moving up. I seen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really what I'm interested in now because when I first started rapping, it was like, oh, I want to be the best rapper alive, and now it's like I just want to make great work, and the great work is deeper than the rap. It's like getting into storytelling, really. Like, what are the stories that are worth telling? How do you expect it to land? Like, I think that there's mythologies that are way more powerful than most rap albums to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, how can you capture that basically? How do you modernize some of these old mythologies, some of these old allegories that still speak to what people go through, but you know, it gets harder and harder to relate. And so
No, I say you keep running with it, bruh. It's very interesting to hear and to, you know, because I'm relating because, you know, a lot of this stuff is real interesting to me. I'm on the, you know, watching all these interesting shows and stuff with my kids. And, you know, I got to find stuff that's, you know, PG and stuff
Yeah,
like
word.
that. So, yeah, I like all that ancient history and it's real interesting to me. That's cool, you know, to involve that into your rap, you know, and make people really think. That's what it's all about. I mean, personally,
Yeah.
you know, if you have a solid beat, you got people thinking, right? And, you know, like you have the visuals.
Yeah, yeah.
You're like doing the trifecta right now. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, just try to tell the story as best you can, basically. Try to be honest, try to have fun. I mean, yeah. It's weird because I never really made music with an audience too much before. That was the other thing. But now I do think a lot more about the art of presenting your art, the art of giving the art, you know?
Right.
It's like, you know, if you want to connect, you gotta make your effort to do it. So that's probably partly what I'm dealing with now. Is like now that I've put so much effort into it, how do I pitch it in a way that they'll catch it?
That's what's up, man. Yeah, it's all about presentation, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And like, talk to me about a little bit like your biggest passions and stuff. Like,
My biggest passions, well, besides just like making art and like doing great work with great artists, I think that the same way, because we're from the Valley, right? We're from Silicon Valley, and we see the way that this place is poured into tech and like founders and entrepreneurs and
big time.
engineers. I believe that the real renewable energy resource is creativity for real. And that if a place, especially in this era where creative IP is so much more powerful than it's ever been, technical IP is still powerful, but creative IP is a lot of leverage. I feel like now is the time for places and for communities to engage and unleash their creative class. Like, there's so much talent here in the Bay Area. It's ridiculous. And you wouldn't even know it if you're not from here necessarily, because we don't got like a Hollywood situation.
Right.
We don't got like the same history and infrastructure as like a New York, where it's like you just expect the art world to be there. You know, I was talking about this with someone the other day about like Virgil, Virgil Abloh.
Yes.
So we don't have a Virgil from the Bay. I can't think of one. Can you think of someone that you would even put?
No, I couldn't say that.
You know what I'm saying? But our Virgil was more like Steve Jobs. We didn't have Virgil. We had like a Steve Jobs.
For real.
It was like tech centric,
Right.
It was like tool engineering, design
tech based.
Yeah.
Right.
So I feel like now though, with the being at the center of the blast radius here in the Bay Area with AI, this is our opportunity to show the rest of the world how to really do this thing. How do you be an artist in the age of AI? I feel like that's an opportunity for us to like set the tone for how to, I won't even say improve, but just how to evolve across all the mediums, how to really rethink the way that we do this thing. And so that's what I'm passionate about. And a step further than that, I have this idea, this like a long ways, maybe not, but it's a long ways away, I think, of like some kind of like mutant academy for artists. And I got to find a better way of branding that. But you and I both probably know creatives that are so far down the creative spectrum that they're almost non-functional as like a civilian.
A regular person.
Yes. You know what absolutely. I'm saying?
It's
like
actually
they have a
really
hard
common.
time. Yeah.
Right.
I feel like we all miss out from them not being able to give their gifts.
Right.
So I feel like having a place that is like this kind of X-Men type academy where they can learn to manage their powers, so to speak, in a safe place. I feel like that'd be fire. I'd be into that.
This is the place to be for all that, right?
Yeah.
No, this is a really cool place, and opportunities are endless over here. But, like you said, I have a lot of friends that need to be discovered, and so if we could present all this to them and do everything almost, in your style, I definitely want you to be able to do some kind of promotions for your AI work, because it's next level. This guy is off the hook with his AI work.
We trying, man. I still feel like a baby.
Oh, you doing it, man.
Yeah,
you're doing it. You're doing it big time. So tell me this, like, we could always do it a better way. How would you do it if you were to give advice to a 20-year-old self?
Yeah, I mean, this is really kind of a derivative of what I eventually took from Virgil, was just that treating life as kind of the art project almost. I was way too into like trying to create a masterpiece instead of just the process of reaching the capability of creating masterpieces,
Right.
And I was so hung up on this idea of perfection or of being the best that it stunted my growth actually. And I really should have just been a little bit more free in terms of like what I created, the directions. It's like, whatever, that thing will lead you to the next thing, which will lead you to the next thing. And that's kind of where I'm at now. And it's just way more fun that way, just like surfing from project to project. And I feel like I surprise myself consistently.
Just knocking things out instead of being a perfectionist and trying to make it just immaculate, right?
Yeah. Just stumble through it. That's fine. You know, you'll catch your stride. You
And
know.
with experience, you do better and better, right? Every time.
Exactly. You're investing in the education process. You know, it's a learning. It's a long learning. One of my favorite quotes is "Life is short and art is long." You know, you'll never reach the end of it for real. So just have fun.
Right.
Be honest and have fun.
Just measure twice and cut once.
So yeah, sometimes too. You know, great work is in the details. But yeah, that's what I always say. Is like to my younger self, just don't take it so seriously all the time. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Right. Nothing's
has to be
perfect.
honest.
So stop trying to make things a perfect jewel, right? A
Yeah.
flawless.
And I see it in myself. I see it looking back at myself. Perfection's just a disguise for insecurity, essentially. You don't think that it'll be received as good enough. You don't think you'll be good enough. So you just want to keep chiseling away.
Right.
You know? But the other thing is that the art is not who you are. It's like, it's a thing that you made, you know? So.
What do you think your end goal is? Where do you see yourself in 10 years or maybe even 20?
I would love to have that academy for sure. I would love to evolve the way creatives are thought of as executives also, because I think my strengths beyond just creative vision and just like lyricism, what have you, is just like strategic considerations. I'm learning now it's called speculative design also, of being able to perceive or conceive of futures that don't exist yet, you know, being able to synthesize a lot of information to spot these really kind of silent signals and all the noise. But yeah, so I think that it's almost like I paint the triangle of like Rick Rubin, you know, like Donald Glover and like Carl Icahn or something. Somewhere in the center there, I feel like is my sweet spot. But yeah, basically I want to be at a level where people know if you want to do shit that's never been done before in art, you come work with Nigel type shit.
Extraordinary.
You know, you want to do something novel, you want to do something for real that's never been done. Like that's why I think I'm gonna be good at. That's why I feel like I'm good at already. But and then so there's gonna be like art they made before working with Nigel and art they make after working with Nigel.
Right.
Like I want to be that kind of collaborator where the checkpoint on their career when they start really unlocking is when they start coming around me.
Over at Dr. Nigel's spot.
Yeah,
Huh?
that would be nice. That would be nice. But yeah, I mean that's as far as I got as far as end goals with this artistic efforts.
No, it sounds beautiful. It's always good to have everything go full circle, you know? And then who knows who your proteges will be, right?
I be thinking about that for real.
Right.
I got young nieces and nephews and shit now. A lot of times I think when I'm rapping, I'm like, all right, what, you know, my unborns might hear this. Like, what am I really leaving?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, no.
Are they really gonna know me for real through this, or is this like am I just bullshitting? You know, that's like what kind of grounds my material, I guess.
No, but it's deeper in that though, if you don't mind me saying, because it's like, you know, they could even know your lyrics word by word and then not even understand and comprehend it until they're in their mid-20s or even 30s to really have it, you know?
That's a real thing.
It's super real because I used to listen to some Too Short in 92, but I was 12 years old. Like I didn't know what he was talking about. I knew it word for word.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, I think that's real cool, especially, you know, in your position, you know?
Man, that's so real. I was just reading about that today. That like if you tried to, it was a analogy on like trying to give wisdom to somebody who like not ready for it. Basically, they're like if you feed a baby wheat bread and meat and wine, they'll die. You know, like not because the food is bad, but because their bodies aren't able to digest it yet.
Right.
You know.
Right. Exactly.
That's some real shit. Yeah.
Speaking of the youth, man, like tell some in particular for the youngsters, bro. Like, you know, like the people that are just, you know, kind of discovering themselves and maybe, you know, generally speaking, obviously you got your AI and all that, but
yeah,
I mean, what you got to say to these youngsters? I mean, you're successful in multiple fields, so what you got to tell them?
Yeah, I would say that like going inward, being able to listen to yourself for real is a practice. Most of the people you meet are not good listeners to begin with, and that goes for themselves as well. Like they're not even good at listening to themselves. And like there's a lot of signals that we ignore throughout our lives that we get that we're trying to tell ourselves something. There's shit that I used to like before I knew what cool was, you know what I'm saying? Before I had a concept that people think these things are cool and those things are not cool, there was already things that I really thought were cool. And they're still at the core of a lot of the shit that I like today, you know? And so a lot of the stuff that is the most true about you, you'll see signs of it early, but you just gotta be good at noticing it, be good at listening to that. Yeah. So yeah, I guess if I could say anything to the youth, it'd be like find some meditation practices. There's all kinds of meditation techniques. Some people go on runs, some people, you know, sit in silence, some people do yoga, whatever it is, but find some type of meditation that allows you to get better at listening to yourself.
Listening in general, right?
Right. Yeah.
But your inner self, you got to get to know you better than anybody else, right?
You stuck with you, you know?
Right.
They said that the place, oh man, what did they say? That the pieces of you that you don't listen to are where the treasures are that you'll never find.
That's deep.
You know?
Hell yeah. Now you got to know yourself better than anybody. So, and at the same time, you got to keep certain people around you and certain people away from you. From, you know, sometimes we don't have too many choices in the matter, but
that's real.
But for the most part, it's all about, you know, that energy and understanding yourself, right?
Yeah, you got to find your rhythm in whatever you're doing. There's a rhythm, you know.
And the passion, and, you know, I'm glad you're doing all that. You know, you're able to take advantage of all this. You're honing your energy into.
It's a journey, man. I got ups and downs like the rest of us, you know. But I definitely got a strong compass. I'll say that.
Hell yeah, dude. I'll give you hella props on everything that you're doing, brother.
I appreciate it, for real.
Yeah, man. Well, we're going to wrap it up here, but I want you to go ahead and let the people know, like, where they can find you and you know, for any professional work or listen to your music or any of the above.
Yeah, Nigel _Xavier _ pretty much that on all socials. Nigel Xavier the Gentle. Nothing but hits. Follow Nothing But Hits. We got a lot in the works. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We got a lot of shit going on. We got I'm gonna leave it there. They're gonna see.
Hell
see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. It was a pleasure having you out.
Appreciate you, brother, for real.
Well, once again, another good show right here with my boy Nigel. Until next time, take care of yourself.